It was the best of time. It was the worst of time.
She was the people's princess.
To fight on the beaches.
Away, man. These are the things that made
To
England.
fight on the landing ground.
These are the things that made
I
England.
have the body but of a weak and feeble woman.
These are the things that made England.
And a king of England too.
These are the things that made England.
Cry God for Harry!
And these are the things that made England.
And St. George!
These are the things that made England.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Things That Made England 2.0. My name is David Crowther. I'm with Royfield Brown here and I have made a resolution that I realise I shout whenever I do these recordings, so I'm not going to shout. So if you can't hear me, just take your wherever you are and shout, speak up please. It won't help, but it'll make you feel better. Anyway, so I'm going to talk normally. So TTME 2.0 is Royfield and I's take on the things that make England or that go to make up what our cultural identity, because both of us feel a great sense of belonging and love of Englishness and glory, and indeed, it might be said, wallow in all those lovely English things that wrap around us. And this is our celebration of that, and we're going to talk about it. And we very much want you to come and comment on YouTube after each topic and say what you think, and also try and rate each thing on a scale of 0 to 10 about how important it is to Englishness. This episode is going to be led by Sir Royfield. And Sir Royfield, what are you going to talk to us about today?
Today, I'm going to talk about the Jamaican import, which became incredibly English and very working class, which is the musical genre called ska, David. That's what I'm going to talk about.
Great. So, as has become customary, when 2 or 3 people are gathered together, they shall perform the parrot sketch. But as we are gathered together, we are going to have 5 quick-fire questions. So, are you ready for this?
I am
Royfield?
ready, David.
Could I say that the last one, the Flag of St. George thing, you did absolutely appallingly. You got 0 out of 5, so I expect a stronger performance on your specialist subject, okay? Right, question number 1. My Boy Lollipop by Millie Small is considered by some to be the most globally successful ska track of all time. How many copies has it sold? Is it A, 70 million? Is it B, 7 million? Is it C, 700,000? Or is it D, 7?
It's got to be 7 million, David.
Correct! Gosh, that's clever of you. Right, question number 2. Which artist was known as the King of Ska, according to my AI search yesterday, and said, remember, enjoy yourself, it's later than you think, this is ska. Who was that?
David, these questions are so easy, I'm not going to deign to answer. It's like, you're insulting me. You're insulting me, David. Question number
right,
3.
then.
Get it? Come on, you know the answer. No, question number 3.
I don't know the answer.
You've got it in front of you. Tell the viewers. This is just too easy. Prince Buster. Move on. Next one.
Correct. Well done. Number 3. For what attributes did white English blokes like ska? With apologies for any racial stereotyping of white English blokes. Was it A, the message of racial unity?
No.
Was it B, a message about social change and social protest? Was it C, the connection to the culture of mods and skinheads? Or was it D, because it was easy to dance to?
Easy to dance to. D.
Correct. 3 out of 3. You are rocking. Which of these is the odd one out? A, Amy Winehouse, B, Lily Allen, C, Rihanna and Shakira, and D, Engelbert Humperdinck.
Wow. Well, I feel it's got to be D, because Amy Winehouse did a reggae ska track. Lily Allen most definitely did a Lovers Engelbert Humperdinck.
You're on the right lines. Yeah, absolutely right.
There you go.
Question number 5, the last. Who said, I have found myself deeply intrigued by the ska punk scene. It's such an expressive form of popular music. It's so real. It's got so much life. It's the most vital music in the world. Was it A, Ozzy Osbourne?
No.
Was it B, Boutros Ghali? Was it C, David Bowie? Was it D, Engelbert Humperdinck?
I'm going to go, it's got to be Bowie, though he didn't do anything in the genre that I can think of. It's got to be Bowie, because he was a great musician.
Wrong, it was Boutros Ghali. No, it wasn't. You're absolutely right. It was David Bowie. Congratulations. We're now finished questions. You did much better. I'm very relieved to see that. I've only got 5 out of 5. Very good. Go.
David, ska. And I think ska is one of these underappreciated musical genres, which are part of our national music law. And for me, it's incredibly important. Not only is it a bit of a personal story, but it's a story of immigration and acceptance. And then on with that acceptance comes a new form of this genre. So what is ska? Ska originates in Jamaica in the early 1960s. And one of the first ska records, a thing called Easy Snapping. And ska is almost on a massive peak in that it's scat, scat, scat. So it's on the upbeat. You have this, not always a guitar snap, but sometimes it can be a piano snap. It's on the upbeat. So you talked about why is it that white working class men like this music? It's easy to dance to. You can pogo to it. You just go up, up.
Indeed,
it's a very
yes.
happy and expressive form of
It's all the
music.
sort of, you know. Sorry, no, I was just giving you a demonstration of me dancing to ska music.
David, I'm not looking at you. Sorry, mate.
Good decision. Good decision. Right, Phil, we can just move over that. Just keep going. Just keep going, mate.
So the early 60s is an important time in English history. And the way that the 60s always talked about is it's the sexual revolution, it's a music revolution, it's the Beatles. Popular culture is broken with the shackles of the post-World War II era. It's not the dour 50s. This is exuberant, it's colourful. But also, the 60s is when mass non-white immigration to England starts. That starts in 1948. But it comes into bloom, shall we say. So these Jamaican immigrants to England, to places like Birmingham, to Bristol or to London, bring this ska music with them. And one of the things which isn't really kind of recognized is the massive cultural imprint that these young Jamaican immigrants bring with them. It's not just the music, but it's also a way of dress. So they dress in Dr. Martens boots, they wear braces with their trousers, Crombie jackets, and they cut their hair incredibly short. These are working class Jamaican immigrants who come to Britain and they have this cheap way of dressing. That dress is then taken on by white working class boys. They shave their heads too and they ate this dress. And by the mid to late 60s, this mod way of dressing becomes what we now call skinhead fashion. So by the mid to late 60s, you have this Jamaican music, which is part of the scene of, as we said, places like Birmingham, Manchester, Coventry is going to be really important in this story. But then also with a style and a sense of dress. So when you think of the 1960s and the way that it's depicted, David, in our modern folklore and on the media, what springs to mind for you?
Well, I have to say that whenever we talk about the 60s, I reckon that the 60s passed me by. They certainly passed by our household. I don't think my mum and dad knew we were in the 60s at all. I think they still thought we were probably in the 50s. But so I don't remember much about the 60s because I was only 6 when it ended. I'm obviously much younger than you are. But obviously the Beatles and that sort of thing, it's a sort of thing that I think about.
It's a time when working class people have lots of disposable income, relatively speaking, for the first time. The 1950s starts with austerity, and by the end of it, Hal Macmillan says, "You've never had it so good." But that was really fleshed out in terms of the working class being able to have regular holidays, not just the odd occasional we went to real once, but they could go year after year. Dad could afford the car. This also meant that the teenager, which is invented in America, takes on this new role in England. And you have the music revolution with pop culture playing such an intrinsic and expressive part of wider culture. And one of the things which it does, it creates these subcultures of whether it's mods, rockers, but then the skinheads. And the skinheads are incredibly important because they are this bridge between this new immigrant culture and with a new way of white some white working class people expressing themselves. So by the end of the 1960s, you have this musical genre which comes from the island of Jamaica slowing down, and the ska gets slower and becomes reggae music. But in many English towns, that ska movement is still there, but almost becomes divorced, or there is some level of a separation between its Jamaican mode of dressing, but not with the music. And then at the end,
So it becomes a sort of new thing, as it were.
it becomes
its own thing.
Well, it becomes something which white working class men and women who are into ska, they start dancing to records which are, let's say, a few years old, but then some of them disassociate that with its Jamaican roots, and then some skinheads become anti-immigrant, but they're still dancing to that music, and the music which is seen as being
deeply ironic,
expressive and up becomes something which is they see as being aggressive. And at that point, then there becomes a melding of some of these skinheads with football violence. So, and you really see it in terms of some of the songs of that era. So things like Skinhead Moonstomp, which is a moment where black and white youth culture share, but then becomes almost an anthem of football hooligans. And then things like The Liquidator, which is a wonderful piece of music with this organ riff, David, becomes almost an anthem for Chelsea hooligans. So, and to this day, if you watch...
There can be no greater fall from grace, Ryfield. No greater fall from grace. I mean, if it had become a Rams anthem, that would have been great, but Chelsea, oh dear.
I know. The end of the 60s, start of the 70s, an iconic time for Chelsea FC with Chopper Harris, and there's that FA Cup final against Leeds. But
Harris.
From that moment, The Liquidator is played at the start of every Chelsea match as the teams run out. And this is frozen in time from the late 60s, early 70s, where ska is seen as the music of the terraces. It's the music of football hooligans. It's the music of the working class. And it has now transitioned away from Jamaican culture. This is now a white thing. But something truly magical, I think, happens in the mid to late 70s, David, where you have these children of these Jamaican immigrants who are now born, and they are English, but they're black, and they've been brought up in Handsworth in Birmingham or in Coventry or in London, and they are listening to their mothers and fathers' old records. So it is things like tracks by Prince Buster, and they reinterpret that in a very British context. So you have labels like Two Tone Records in Coventry that meld these Jamaican rhythms with the upbeat with the expressive and almost nihilistic music of the time, which is punk. So in 1976, he famously had the Sex Pistols, and it's like rock and roll has completely reinvented itself. And it's all about the 3-chord structure, which anybody can play. And it's not about being a virtuoso musically. It's about energy.
No.
These young black and white youth meld this, specifically in Coventry and Birmingham, and to a lesser extent London, and you have the second wave of ska. So you have things like A Message to You, which is by The Specials, which is an old ska record, which is about 12, 13 years old by then. But they bring this back and rework this, and it is with punk energy, with a ska sensibility. And
Shall we sing the chorus for everyone? Right.
You can, David. I'm going to kick back in my seat, sir, whilst you entertain
the only thing I
viewers.
can sing is A Message to You, Rudy. That's all. Is that? I've got the right song.
Stop your messing around.
That's it. Stop your messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
And
it's a great song. Fantastic.
It's a fantastic song. It's a reworking of an old song from the 1960s. But what you have for the first time is in post-war Britain is a recognition of an art form, a genre, which is uniquely English, but owes a lot of its heritage, to Jamaica. This is about second generation Brits who are black, with white English people creating this scene. And Two Tone Records wasn't called Two Tone by accident. It was black and white, two tones.
Yeah.
So they wore the black suits with white shirts. They looked incredibly sharp. It's an aping of a 1960s way of mod dressing. And it's distinct from the skinhead way of dressing. This is now another genre, which by the mid-70s becomes, to all intents and purposes, very racist. But the two-tone movement meld black and white culture, and they expressly say this. So you look at the Specials as a group, and there are black and white musicians, with Selector black and white musicians.
I mean, that was the great thing about it, actually, for me, and as an ignoramus about it, was when we watched it, it was a very different experience from, the bands were all over the place, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, and all the rest of it. And suddenly you had these great big bands. There was loads going on stage. They were white, they were black. It was very working class. Is it Special? Who's living in a ghost town? Who was that? Was that the Specials?
That's the Specials. It's the Specials.
That's the Specials. Yeah. Fantastic song and all that stuff about social protest, and with all these white and black people looking sharp. I mean, it's just a great vibe and very different to sort of, the disco and the heavy metal and all the rest of it, much as I love heavy metal, obviously.
You're completely right. And they talked about kitchen sink issues. So Much Too Young by the Specials is about going out, but you're much too young to be mad. You should be mad with a kid when you should be having fun with me, These were...
We could sing that one.
Go on then, David.
Oh, I can't remember. You need to start it off.
You're much too much.
You were married
much
too young. Much too young. You should be having kids. Oh, whatever. No, you should be having kids. That's wrong.
You're married with a kid when you should be having fun with me.
Should be having fun with me. Yeah.
And these are songs which are incredibly easy to sing at the top of your lungs. So you understand why white working class men almost adopt these songs as kind of like pub anthems. They're easy to sing. They're easy, and they relate to them and their circumstance. They're incredibly easy to dance because they're fast-paced. You literally just kind of like pogo. But this was, and I said this before, but it cannot be underestimated. This is the first time in Britain's cultural history where it recognizes the antecedents of something which isn't from the island of England, that is truly a melding of two cultures to create the second wave of ska, which is what the late 70s is all about, and the very early 1980s. So it spans up the Specials, the Beat, Selector, Madness. They all are a bit of an anomaly because they're based down in London.
Yeah. I was going to say, does Madness count?
They absolutely do count, but Madness were also different because not only are they geographically different, they're from London, but also they were an all-white band, but they had the same reverence for these 60s ska records as well. But the sound of Madness then was different from the sound of the Specials or the Selector or of the Beat in Birmingham. So this expression of this new English musical genre, ska, kind of peters out. It's like a 3-year thing where these bands take the energy of punk to the country. By the early 1980s, it wanes. But I think, David, it's left an indelible mark on post-war England, because you could almost put it as a signpost of musical genres then that come after, which are multicultural, whether it is garage music, whether it is house music. Then it's not strange to see people who are English, who are non-white performing music. But this all happens in this great melange of music in the late 1970s, where white and black come together and express the camaraderie around living in working class Birmingham or Coventry and bringing this music to the fore.
What sort of influence do you think there is musically? Do you think when we talked about, Amy Winehouse and who referenced ska and so on, and Lily Allen and Rihanna, is there a third wave of ska? Where does it live on now?
There is a third wave of ska in America. And a lot of, you look at the college music circuit in America and over in the West Coast, there's a lot of ska. Me personally, it's not for me. It's very, very
Right.
fast. Ska has always been a fast music. It is even faster than the 1970s, early 1980s ska. But though they hold those bands in total reverence, the Beat, who are from Birmingham, are called the English Beat in America because at that
Yes,
point,
I remember that.
there was a band in America also called the Beat. So they have to call themselves something different. They still
Right.
tour in America, you know. And
No,
so,
it's all right.
but it's very much a bit of a college music scene. The third wave of ska, I am no expert on it, but it does live on. But
Yeah.
they see it as a sign of pride that they are the inheritors of the second wave, of this English wave of ska.
Great. I mean, I think I mentioned before the programme that at the moment at the V&A in East London, the new one that's been built quite recently, they've got an exhibition at the moment which is called, I think, Music is Black, which is all about, black music and the influence of black musicians and so on and so forth. And I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I sort of looked it up and thought, oh, maybe there's some stuff in ska. And so I searched. It didn't appear. I mean, that's a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame, but it's something which I think we did reference before we actually started the show, that when we look back at ska, it's almost seen as exclusively a white genre. So I think that's the reason for maybe political reasons and cultural reasons why it wouldn't be included, because it was truly a melting pot. And then you have bands like Madness, which were completely and utterly white, and like Bad Manners, etc. But what I think one of the legacies of the genre, though, is the fact that artists who are white, like Amy Winehouse, etc., Lily Allen, can perform music which we would see as being black music, and it's not an issue anymore. If you can come up to that period and white artists didn't cover those, music which is seen as black, and if they did, it felt odd. Post the 1970s is kind of fine, as long as you do it with a sense of reverence and you understand the provenance of the music, and you can still sing bloody well. Black audience will go, fine, this is all good.
Right, great. Okay, thank you very much for that. And I was very good that we had this conversation because we did it in TTME 1.0, and I said something really, really stupid, which
David,
I was able not to say again.
How can you remember just the one stupid thing that you said?
It burns. It burns.
It burns.
Still, it burns. So, but now I've expunged it.
Okay.
I have one question for you. There has been quite a bit of noise going on in the background. Would you like to tell the listeners why there's a bit of noise going around and where you are? This is your opportunity to sell.
Behind me, you can see my bar, Temper and Brown, which is a place I'm incredibly proud to own and to be part of the history. The bar has been here since 1850. Historically, it's called the George and Dragon. It's in a wonderful bit of Birmingham called the Jewellery Quarter. And the Jewellery Quarter is the last bit of UK jewellery making manufacture, which is all concentrated within this one neighbourhood. So it's a unique bit of Birmingham, a unique bit of England. And we have a little pub here called Temper and Brown. This is my bar that you can see behind me if you're watching on YouTube. And if you are listening on a regular podcast, you can probably hear the faint tinklings of punters having a little afternoon tipple, and also the chef banging out some great Caribbean food.
Okay, you can start selling now. I've been to Jewellery Quarter quite a lot. And if and when, I mean, it's going to be when, isn't it? We have our episode on pubs. We presumably must do it together live or whatever in Temper and Brown, must we not?
We absolutely should, David. And that is a subject which is very close to my heart now. We've got to keep hold of these totems of English culture, these third spaces where people can communicate.
Okay, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching as well. Do come and have a chat on our YouTube channel, which, of course, you will know because this is where you're listening to it. Also, we have a Substack, which you can find at
thethingsthatmadeengland.substack.com.
Okay, perfect. That's a good name. Well thought out, Royfield. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. It's goodbye from me, and it is goodbye from
me.